to my channel. Today we're doing a first impressions demo, review, and a 2-day wear test using the Surreal Skin Foundation by Makeup by Mario in shade 12O. So if you guys want to know how that went, then please keep on watching. So I already primed my face. I used the Clinique Super Primer. I only did it on my right side of my face, and this side is going to stay with no primer since we're testing out a new foundation today, and that is the one by Makeup by Mario and the Surreal Skin Foundation, I believe it's called. The name came off when I cut open the box. I am demoing shade 12O. O is for olive, and this is 1 fluid ounce. This side of my face, the right side, we're going to use a foundation brush. I didn't pick up his brush because I have brushes that I like already. And this one, it has kind of the similar shape anyways from the one that he is selling. And then on this side of the face, we're going to use the Beauty Blender sponge. So let's just get started. And this is a glass bottle and it has a pump. And I'm going to just pump it directly onto my brush. Okay, I'm just gonna do one pump right there, and let's get my stippling on. And I went to Sephora to match myself because online it said shade 14 would be the best match based on other foundations that I've had. But when I swatched it in the store, 14 looked way too dark. It kind of reminded me of the Pat McGrath shade that I had before, the 15. So I would say 14 is a good shade if you are NC 42 in MAC, which I'm an NC 40. And this really, like, it just went into my skin like, wow, that was flawless. So let's see. I'm just using a mirror because in my phone it looks like I got it all, but I want to make sure I got it all. That was just one pump. And I feel that with one pump is enough to cover your face, but if you want a little bit more like coverage, definitely do 2 pumps. So just for the sake of the video, I'm going to do an additional pump to cover the parts that I feel did not get covered. So another little dollop right there. Don't push it all the way down, so if you don't want to get a lot of product, that's my tip to you if you're going to do foundation. And I'm just going to look down in my mirror and get the spots that I feel were not really covered in the first application. This has a scent to it. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. It smells like paint, honestly, but not like an obnoxious paint smell. But it does, you know, it smells like makeup, but it's not bad. At least it's not like it doesn't smell like roses or anything like that. And immediately, I don't know if you guys can see, my skin looks very luminous. Like, can you see that shine here, here, here? And that's not from the primer that I used, because the primer I used does not do anything for illumination like that on my face. So that went on very well. And I would have to say shade 12O matched me perfectly. Now let's do the sponge, making sure it's not too wet. And my Beauty Blender is clean, just in case anyone says anything. It's just stained. So this is how much you get when you do a full pump. So for me, that's like 2 pumps. So now we're going to pounce that on my left side of my face. So I don't know if you guys can see, because I think that because I did 2, 1 full pump, which for me is like 2 applications like this side, it looks more opaque is what I'm trying to say. So I honestly expected the sponge side to look more, what's what I'm looking for? The word escapes me. I expected the sponge side to look more like this on the first application. So for me, I feel like the brush side already, I like it more than the sponge side, because I feel like with the sponge, it just immediately gave me fuller coverage, and I like to gradually build my foundation. That's just my personal preference. I don't think it has anything to do with the foundation, because typically most foundations, in my opinion, when you apply them right away on the first initial application, and if you have a lot of product, it's a lot on your face. So I would recommend, if you are using a sponge, just try to not do a full push down of the pump. Do a smaller dot and then, you know, work. If you like to gradually build, or if you don't, if you're someone who likes fuller coverage, then by all means do a full pump and just pounce away. So there is the sponge side. And honestly, do you guys see a difference in application? Like, looking in my mirror, sorry if I'm blocking, looking in my mirror, both sides look the same. The only difference that I am noticing is that with the sponge, because I went in with initially a full pump, it gave me a quicker coverage of my whole side of my left face, which on my left side is where I tend to have, like, I had like a acne here, and I had a couple of like spots here. So if you look very carefully, it like covered everything very, very well. I'm just like, wow. You know, it looks really good right now. So it is 11/11, make a wish. So I'm going to just finish the rest of my face, like, you know, maybe do something light, and I'm just gonna wear it for a couple of hours, and then I'll come back to check in. But I'm gonna get a little closer so you guys can see my face again. So this is the left side, and this is the right side. So remember, this is the side with the brush, the side with the sponge. So I will be back. Okay, everyone, it is exactly 12:44, so it's been an hour and 33 minutes since I put on the foundation, and I just wanted to check in. From far away, the foundation still looks exactly how it applied, but if you get up close, you can see just a little bit of creasing, not really a lot. I don't know if it's the cinematic mode that is blurring it out, so I'm gonna take cinematic mode off and see if you guys can really see that a little bit of texture is peeking through. So I'll be right back. So I took the cinematic mode off, and this is what it looks like. Remember, this is the side I did the sponge on, and this is the side that I used the brush on. And I just have, you know, a little bit of creasing here, a little bit of creasing here. But this is typically what's been happening lately when I put any foundation on. And I think it's just because of, you know, I'm 50 years old now. So I think that's what it is. But looking in the mirror, like, I have a little bit of texture, like you can really see my pores, which I find interesting because from far away it looks flawless, and even when you get up close you can't really tell. At least I can't tell. Let me know if you can. But I think it looks really good, even though I have like a lot of, like, my pores are really peeking through, which I find very interesting. Which I don't like that my pores are showing this much. So what I'm planning to do is I am going to go to Sephora and pick up one of those primers that fill in the pores and give it another shot to see if that helps the wear of it, just for the sake of the video, because you guys know I don't like to do a whole lot of extra to keep a product. But just for you, those of you who are watching this video who want to know if a pore filling primer would make a difference or not. So we're gonna stop the video now. I'm gonna pick up that primer, and then tomorrow I will do the foundation again with that primer. So we will see each other again tomorrow. Hey everyone, so it's day 2 of trying out the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation, and we're gonna use 2 different primers today that help fill in the pores, which is a problem that I noticed when I tried it yesterday. So let's get into that. The first one we're gonna put on my left side of my face is the Milk Matte Primer. It's in the black bottle. I will try to put either a picture or the title of the primer, so that's gonna go on the left side of the face. And since yesterday we used sponges and brushes, we're just gonna use a brush today because you saw how it went on with a sponge and a brush. And immediately I'm gonna tell you, this feels extremely matte on the face, which concerns me because I have very dry skin. So that's what it looks like without foundation. And then the other one that I really wanted to actually just purchase, but they had none available and the tester was practically empty, is from One Size, and I think it's called Secure the Blur Primer. I'm just looking at the piece of the little thing that they write on when they give you the samples. So we're gonna apply that on the right side of the face. And this is a primer that I've been wanting to try for quite some time, but I just haven't gotten a chance to. So we're just gonna put this one on because this one has really good reviews as well as the one from Milk Makeup, because everyone likes the Milk Makeup, the gripping one, the green one, which I haven't tried that one because I don't really like, what am I trying to say? I don't like the texture. That's the word. I was like, what the word am I trying to say? Okay, so immediate difference. Like this one feels a little more hydrating. This one, I am completely matte, but it feels really smooth. So I'm going to let this one dry a little bit because it's a little bit wet still. And then we're going to go in and apply on both sides of my face. And we'll wear it and see what happens throughout the day. Excuse me. So since this side is already settled, I'm going to just go in right away with the foundation. And I'm going to use the Ulta Precision Foundation brush that I used yesterday. And we're just going to put try to put only half a pump. And then we could build up like we did yesterday. And hopefully this is going to do the trick, because I don't want a foundation that's going to make it look like I have texture yet. So you need a full pump, but I like to build up gradually. You guys know that. And the reason I decided to go with these two primers is because I've seen a lot of people use both of them with different skin textures. So like people who have dry skin, people who have oily skin, people who have normal skin, combination skin. So they were the most popular. So I figured, let me just try them out. So it seems like they do what they claim to do, which is to cover up the pores. Because I don't know if my pores would be accentuated because of the foundation or because of my skin. Because this foundation goes on very, very nice. Like it looks so pretty, like from far away. So this one feels like it's settled. So now we're gonna do the right side of the face. I remember the right side of the face has the one size. And I just did a full pump because I knew I was gonna need a full pump. And I'm trying to find the light because it's a bit cloudy today in my area. And if you guys didn't know, I really like to use natural lighting for my videos. I mean, I do have a ring light. I could just get that out, but I just have a preference to use natural lighting. So there's that. I'm just going to use my mirror to see if I got all the spots, and then I'm going to show you how it looks after I'm done buffing it in. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the side that has the Milk Makeup matte primer. I think it's called Eclipse. If I'm incorrect, I'll correct myself. And then this is the one size Secure the Blur. And quite honestly, looking at both of them, they both look the same. The only difference is that what I noticed, that when I put the foundation on this side, it immediately looked matte, which is what this primer, you know, does. Excuse me, thought I was gonna sneeze. And this side, it looks more dewy. But then I just reapplied a little bit more because I like more a dewy finish. I don't like a matte finish, but I understand that it's the primer. So I'm gonna show you that again. So this is the Milk Makeup side. And this is the Secure the Blur from one size. So it is now 11:03. I will check back in an hour or two and see how this foundation is wearing throughout the day. So I will be back. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, everyone, so this is the final check-in for today. It is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry that's a little bit dark, but it is cloudy in my neck of the woods today. But here is a close-up. And as you can see, I feel like the primers did help fill in this area very well, so my pores do not look as pronounced as yesterday. So it did help, but I still feel like my skin looks very textured with this foundation. But I'm gonna wear it the rest of the day until I go to bed, and then I will come back tomorrow and I will give you my final thoughts. So I will see you tomorrow. Later. Okay, everyone, so now it has been 2 days since I tried out this foundation. So let's get into it. The first thing I have to say is I absolutely love the packaging. The outside of the box is so sleek and so chic. And the bottle itself, let me take it out of the box for you guys. I absolutely love it. It's so nice. It's like, this is such a beautiful bottle. how it says Mario right there, by Mario. Okay, let me see if it focuses. And then the white top with the silver. And I absolutely love that it has a pump. A pump is essential when you have foundation. It just makes it so much easier. And everyone has been talking about how you see these little not crystals, glitter on it, but I'm not seeing that when I look at mine. Maybe it's a natural light or whatever, but from the bottle I have in front of me, I'm not seeing that thing that everyone's talking about. I think it's that you have to shine light on it. But anyways, I absolutely love the packaging. So let's talk about that. So let me open up my notes because I put everything on my iPad mini. It just helps me to be organized when I sit here and talk to you about a product that we are reviewing. So, all right, so the name of the foundation is Surreal Skin Foundation, and I reviewed shade, I demoed shade 12O, which O stands for olive. And if you guys didn't know, I tend to have an olive undertone, so that's where I try to reach more for, or a golden undertone when I pick a foundation. I did try in store shades 12, which is this one, and shade 14O, and 14 for me was a little bit too dark, and I knew it was going to be too dark for me, so that would be a shade more like if you are an NC 42, which I think I mentioned that before as well. This foundation online, they have 30 shades, and you get 1 ounce or 30 milliliters for $42. I think $42 is a nice compromise where you're not spending $65 to $85, and it's not under, like, you know, the lower range like what you find in a drugstore. I feel like his price is very accurate with it being sold in Sephora is what I'm trying to say. So it's like a nice middle ground in my opinion. So first impressions, when I put on this foundation, if you guys saw that, I was blown away by how it looked on my skin. Like, I was immediately like, wow. Like, I felt like I did a filter on my skin immediately when I applied it the first time. When I used the brush, wait, before I get to that, okay, let me not jump ahead. So first, it looks like skin, and it definitely gives you that luminous look. I absolutely love that. From far away, it just looked amazing. Like, I just couldn't stop looking. I was like, wow. One full pump down will really give you, like, it'll cover your entire face. I feel like if you're someone who doesn't want like a full coverage, you're more like a medium coverage person. But if you want like a full coverage, like if you like to be like cake face, not necessarily cake face, but you know what I mean, like extreme, like more than what the average person really puts on, then you probably want to do 1 and 1, so like 2 full pumps for the whole face. But in my opinion, I think the way this foundation goes on, you only need 1 pump for your entire face. Like I said, it does have like a slight scent to it, like, you know, like foundation, but it's not strong at all. It's very mild, and I have a very sensitive nose, and I absolutely love that it doesn't smell like roses or anything like that. Like, it just smells like, you know, foundation. So I didn't think it was unpleasant at all. For me, which I was very shocked that I decided this, but I felt that the foundation applied better on me, on my skin, because I have dry skin, with a sponge, which I was shocked, because if you guys know me, I absolutely love using a brush. That is my preference for putting foundation on. But when I did this side of my face with the sponge, I was just like, whoa, because it was like quick and it covered everything like that. And I used the same amount. So like when I started on this side of my face, my right side of face, I used a brush and I did like half a pump, so I didn't go all the way down. And I did so a full pump on this side of my face, so I gradually built it. And I felt that with the brush, it gave me more of a natural skin look. Like, it didn't look like I had foundation on. And then when I did the sponge, it gave me that immediate full coverage foundation look, which it was just like, I was blown away. Like, I absolutely loved the way it looked with a sponge. It was like, wow. So if you want a more natural look, then use a brush. But if you want a more full coverage, in my opinion, use a sponge. So this foundation for me was very long wearing. I wore it for 2 days straight, like I said. Not straight that I kept it on. What I mean was I tried it 2 individual days. And I have to say that it lasted for as all the hours I had on. I think I wore it a total of, since it was like 11, I wore it until about, I'm going to say like 6 o'clock, and then I took it off. So you do the math. I don't feel like mathing right now. So it was very long wearing. And I was surprised too that it did not really transfer on my glasses. Like, it was very minimal. Whereas with other foundations that I've put on, I get a lot of transfer on my glasses. So that was great. So if you wear glasses, that'll be a tip for you to know that it is long wearing, and I did not like set it with powder or anything like that to make a difference, so I made sure of that. Now here's where it goes downhill for me. After I was wearing it for 2 hours, the first day that I tried it without any like blurring primers, my pores were so pronounced that I was like, what is going on here? Like when I put foundation on, my skin never looks like that. Like I said, the first time I put it on, I was like, whoa. But then after 2 hours, I was like, ugh, this looks terrible. I mean, from far away, like if I was gonna take pictures from far away, you wouldn't even know. But when I got up close, I was like, yikes. So I'm gonna try to put in the pictures because I did take pictures. So hopefully I remember to put that in when I'm editing. And I was like, whoa, poor city. So yeah, I did not like that. So then what I decided was to, you know, give the foundation a fair try. That's why I did a 2-day wear test. I went to Sephora that same day and I picked up 4 different blurring primers to try out. And I decided to try out the most popular ones that everybody has talked about. So that was the One Size, Secure the Blur, and the matte, I think it's called Eclipse from Milk Makeup. I tried both of them. And let me tell you, the blurring primers, they helped a little bit because it helped so that it wouldn't be so pronounced here and here, like under my eyes, you know, the cheek area. But my skin still, it didn't help at all. Like it helped a little bit, but not enough. Like I'm gonna try to put pictures in too so you guys can see the difference of when I used not blurring regular primer and when I use a blurring primer. And I feel like with the blurring primer, it was even worse. It didn't really help at all. So unfortunately, because the foundation did not survive more than 2 hours, like how it looked on my face, I will be returning this foundation. But I do recommend this foundation if you have normal skin, if you have oily and combo skin. I think you will do great with this foundation. But I think if you have dry skin, this is not going to work for you unless you're the exception to the rule. But if you are in my age range, which I just recently turned 50, I don't think this is going to work for you, in my opinion. So let's read some of the highlights from Sephora's website. So their highlights are that it gives you a natural finish, which I have to agree it does. It looks very natural. It's a liquid formulation. It's hydrating, long wearing, and medium coverage. I will have to agree that it's all of those things because I felt like it went on the first time. It was very hydrating. It was definitely long wearing, and it definitely gives you medium coverage, but I believe it's medium to full coverage. You definitely can build it up. So I agree with all those claims. So then the other thing that says on the site is that what it is, a breathable, luminous foundation that effortlessly builds and blends to illuminate the complexion with customizable long-wearing coverage. 100% agree with that. It definitely is luminous. It definitely feels like nothing on your face. I have to agree with that because that's why I was so surprised that when I looked in the mirror that it looked so like my face, it had sucked all the oil, like the dryness out, not the dryness, all the hydration out of my face. Because it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel tight. It felt very comfortable. So that's why I was like, whoa, why does this look so bad? So here are the highlighted ingredients. Grapeseed oil and vegetal squalene provide restoring moisturizing benefits. Perfecting powders works with skin's natural texture for smooth and enhanced finish. Now, I don't know if it's just me, because let me know in the comment section if this happens to you. But I noticed that because companies are adding skincare to their foundations, for me, it's not working. My skin does not want skincare benefits added to the foundation, like something that's gonna make your skin more hydrating or something that's gonna like blur it or whatever, because I don't know if it's just that my skin is like super sensitive or just picky. I have no idea. I think skincare should personally stay out of foundation because I think it should be left to the person to customize the skincare the way they need it, and then just put foundation on how, you know what I mean? Like, don't combine the two, in my opinion, because it just doesn't work out for my skin. And the ingredient callouts are free of parabens, formaldehydes, phthalates, I think that's what it says, mineral oil, retinol, and all this other stuff, which I'm not going to read because I cannot pronounce half of these words and I'm not going to butcher them and embarrass myself. So it is also vegan, gluten, and cruelty free. And then it says what else you need to know. This foundation reveals skin's natural luminosity. It features moisture grip technology and hydrates the skin and glides on easily for customizable coverage. Layer it on or shear it out. The builder formula works harmoniously with powders or creams while staying true to its original color. Now, that's what I mean. Moisture grip technology. Maybe that's what it is. with dry skin that it just, because it's made to grip, it's literally sucking the moisture out of your face. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's factual or not, but in my case, it just did not work with my skin. And which was very disappointing because I really loved the way this foundation looked. I really was hoping it was going to work out for me so I could keep it, but I can't, because I've tried other luminous foundations and they work really well and I didn't have that issue. Like the Pat McGrath one does not do that to me. The Armani Luminous Silk doesn't do that to me either. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't recommend this for anyone who has dry skin. I think that's all that I wrote in my notes. So let me know in the comment section if you have picked this up, if you tried it, what were your experiences? Because I know this foundation has been super, super hyped all over the place and people are loving it everywhere. And I hate to be the one to say that this has to go back, but I'm just being honest, it's going back because it just did not look good after 2 hours of wear time, even though it's extremely long wearing. So that's all I have to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.